Hello friends, my name is some jackass with the YouTube channel, and I am actually starting a new series that I don't think has been done before. I am going to interview fellow shiny hunters. Now a lot of the questions are going to be generic because it's going to be over a lot of people. I might have some in the future that's dedicated to each person, but for now they're just going to be generic. So without further ado, let's start with my first guest.
Hey guys, my name is KangasKid18. I'm a shiny hunter and Twitch streamer, and I'm looking forward to this interview.
Question number 1. Are you doing a Living Shiny Dex or Living Shiny Dex, however you want to say it?
Yeah, I am actually doing a Living Shiny Dex. A Living Shiny Dex is a Pokédex that you have in your PC, which you have one instance of each Pokemon that is shiny. For example, if I had to have a Raichu and a Pikachu and a Pichu in my Pokedex, I would need to have each of those shiny. I would need to catch one Pikachu, I would need to catch one Pichu, and I would need to evolve one of those all the way into Raichu. I think it's kind of the ultimate, like, gotta catch them all experience. It's the ultimate challenge in my opinion, and I think it's kind of awesome.
Well, that's unique. I do agree that it is the ultimate gotta catch them all. Technically you're catching them all twice because you have a Living Shiny Dex and a normal Dex, so technically you're catching them all twice. Question 3. How far along are you in your Dex, and is there a way we can follow along with you?
Yeah, so as of this recording, my Living Shiny Dex is actually complete. I, got Minior. Shiny Minior was my last one after just 300 some random encounters. If you want to follow along, if Ultra Sun Ultra Moon has any additional shinies I need to hunt, you can follow me on YouTube. My username is KangasKid18. You can follow me on Twitter. My name is at Living Shiny Dex there. Or you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/KangasKid18.
Well, good lord, you've already finished your Living Shiny Dex. Minior arrived very quickly for random encounters. With all of his information, it's down in the description below. Be sure to follow him. He's amazing. He is so fun to listen to. Now here's something you're going to hear a lot of what I say and what Kangas will say. And that's at the time of this recording. Now, the reason why I say at the time of this recording, and why he might say it with me, is because with shiny hunters, you can have one day where you have 200 shinies, and then the next day you can have 204, or you can have 200 shinies, and the next day you still have 200. Shinies change from day to day. So, at the time of this recording means when he sent it to me, that's how far his progress was. So, with that said, at the time of this recording, what is your longest hunt?
Oh lord, my longest hunt is Shiny Moltres. It was back in Heart Gold Soul Silver, back when I was going to try to finish the original Living Shiny Dex, the Gen 6 Living Shiny Dex. And it was 28,000 soft resets. 28,000 soft resets. That's even worse somehow.
Good lord, 28,000. I think that would make anyone hate soft resets after that. I could not imagine doing 28,000 soft resets. I know with Gen 4 and, Gen 4 and Gen 3, I know about, 1 in 8,192, but 28,000 is so much. Question 5. At the time of this recording, what is your shortest hunt?
Ooh, my shortest hunt is a good question. It depends on the method. I got a shiny Passimian from Masuda method in 3 eggs. I got a shiny Lapras in Front Safari in 1 encounter.
That's amazing.
So that was kind of cool.
Shiny Lapras in 1 Friend Safari encounter. That's pretty impressive. I know Friend Safari has increased chances, but that's still amazing. So this one might be a tricky one. At the time of this recording, if you were forced to redo one of your hunts, which one would it be? And no cop-out easy answers like the 1 encounter Lapras. It has to be a medium to long hunt.
Okay, so if I had to do a hunt all over again, honestly, it would be Shiny Minior. Because I went into that hunt expecting a really, really long hunt. And somehow I got the Shiny Minior. The Shiny I was looking for in 300 and some random encounters. I was kind of looking forward to finding some random shinies that I didn't honestly need. And so to find it that quick was kind of cool, but I think if I had to choose, I would do that one again.
Alright, sounds fair. I remember watching your stream and you really wanted to do the Masuda method, so I'm assuming if you were to do it again, it would be the Masuda method. At the time of this recording, what is your most painful hunt? A painful hunt meaning when you thought about going back to it, you groaned. You're just thinking, why is this taking so long? You know, that type of a hunt.
At the time of this recording, I think my most painful hunt... God, that's a good question. I mean, obviously my longest hunt is Moltres. I don't know if that's my most painful. I think that, honestly, like, type Null might be my most painful. I went 3,300 encounters for type Null, or soft resets, or what have you. But because you have to go through that whole, like, it's not a cutscene, but it's a whole dialogue ahead of time. Each soft reset takes a little while, and that just felt really, really painful to me.
I don't blame you. I eventually had to get type Null myself, so that's going to be fun. But, type Null is not the answer I was expecting. But, that's the unique part about Shiny Hunters. We all have a difference of opinion, and everything is fine. So, this is one of my favorite questions to ask Shiny Hunters in general. Whether it's just on a Twitch comment, or, usually that's how it is, but my favorite question is, if you could shiny hunt one mythical, which one would you go for first? For all of you who don't know, that's, you know, Mew, Celebi, Jirachi, Shaymin, Victini, Keldeo, Genesect, Meloetta, Diancie, Hoopa, Volcadion, Magearna, and Marshadow. At the time that I sent these questions to Kangas, we didn't know about the Ultra Sun and Moon, mythical. So that's why he might not mention that, because at the time it didn't exist. So,
if I had to choose a mythical to shiny hunt, Lord, I mean, I already shiny hunted Shaymin, so it's not that. I think if I could, like honestly could, I think it has to be Celebi. I mean, that's one of the best shinies in the game in my opinion, and the fact that I can't shiny hunt it brings me daily pain. No, not that bad, but I do wish I could shiny hunt for it.
I agree with you 100%. The moment where we could shiny hunt Celebi, I'm going for that straight away. I'm dropping all my hunts and going straight for Celebi. And supposedly, don't quote me on this, supposedly you can hunt Celebi with the Japanese GameCube Coliseum disc. Now, I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. I'm waiting for a fellow shiny hunter to work with me on this. So, don't quote me on Celebi being huntable yet. We'll still find out. Now, this one, it might be similar to the previous question, but it's not only for the mythicals. If you could unlock one currently shiny locked Pokemon and have it forever be unlocked, you know, not just for you, not just for your friend, but in general, that shiny would be unlocked and you can hunt it in any game, whatever. Which one would you choose?
That's a good question. Lord, I have to think about that. I wasn't aware I was going to have to answer this one. I should have looked over these questions in advance. If I could choose one shiny locked Pokemon to be unlocked, I could choose Celebi. That's kind of lame. I'm not going to choose Celebi. I'm going to choose something else. I'm going to choose... I might choose Celebi. I could choose Deoxys. I could choose Mew. I could choose Arceus. You know which one it is? It's Arceus, actually. I'm going to choose Arceus, and here's the reason.
Okay.
I actually shiny hunted for Arceus in Gen 4.
All right.
And, I hacked in the item to soft reset for it. I soft reset for it and got it shiny, but it will not transfer all the way up to Gen 7. So at this moment, it's the one shiny that I hunted for that is not in my living shiny dex, just because it will not transfer to through the generations. So I think I would have that one be the one, like just kind of have my living shiny dex complete by the hunts that I've done on the virtue that Arceus is unlocked.
So I find it funny that you're saying I should pick Celebi. I'm not gonna pick Celebi. I picked Celebi. That was legitimately funny to me. But I agree with you. Arceus should at least be obtainable. I understand why he isn't. I understand that being able to randomly encounter God is a little extreme, but I do agree with the logic there, and I do agree that after going through the tedious effort of hunting it in Platinum, you should be able to transfer it up to Gen 6 and Gen 7. Alright. Now, with us shiny hunters, and with this next question, I have a feeling that we all agree on one thing. With the shiny locks, about how stupid they are. So, my question is, are you pro shiny locks? Like, you're fine with certain Pokemon being shiny locked, or do you just wish that they would get rid of it forever? Because I believe that every shiny hunter does want them to be removed. But it's unique to see other people's, or to hear other people's points of view, so I would like to hear what you think about the shiny locks.
I am 100% against shiny locks. I think they're terrible. You know, as a shiny hunter, hunting for shinies is what I do, what I like to do. Okay? And the hunt is what makes it all worth it. So having a Pokemon that's like in the game that can't be hunted is it's awful to me. It seems like it's beside the point. It defeats the purpose. And I know there was a recent interview with Junoichi Masuda in which he said, you know, the reason that we do this is to make legendary Pokemon seem actually legendary. You know, if there's a shiny legendary, it's like some level beyond legendary. It's like a super special legendary. And nobody will care about what the legendaries are anymore. And I get that. I totally get that. However, there are people out here who are willing to, you know, shiny hunt for these legendaries. Put in this time. It's not like that everybody is gonna get a shiny legendary. It's only gonna be for the real hardcores out there. And I think that's how it should be. And the other argument there is, you know, Pokemon gives out shiny legendaries as events all the time. And all of a sudden everybody has them. You know, you didn't even have to put any effort into the hunt. Everybody has a shiny Tapu Koko now. Everybody has shiny Yveltal, shiny Xerneas. You know, shiny Rayquaza, there was an event for that. And there was no effort put into that. And it's a shame because these are really cool shinies. And putting in the effort is the best part of the hunt. And so that's why I hate the shiny lock.
That is a fair judgment. And I agree completely. Now, keeping in mind, with this audio that you're hearing, this was, I believe, sent in October. We did not know about the legends being available in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and we did not know that they would be unlocked and that we can hunt them. We did not know that the Ultra Beasts were going to be shiny huntable. We knew none of this. So this is why I usually say at the time of this recording. So, as of the recent news, the shiny locks don't seem to matter anymore. Because in Gen 6, Arceus and Yveltal were locked, but now that they don't serve story purpose, they're unlocked. So that's probably what they're going to do in future games, which basically means that the shiny locks are useless, except for the Mythicals. The Mythicals will sadly always be locked. Now this is a bit of a weird question. If someone paid you $10 for each shiny that you have, would you agree to that? Would you sell your living shiny dex? Now, I'm not saying that because I want to buy your shiny dex. I'm saying, do you care more about the experience? Do you care about getting the end result? Or are you fine with selling off your dex because you could just hunt it again and have more fun?
How much is $10 per shiny anyway? I gotta think about how many shinies I have. I have 780 something shinies. $10 per shiny will be what? $7,800? Heck no, man. Nah, I ain't about that. No, even if they offered me $100 per shiny, I probably wouldn't do it. I mean, the shiny decks that I have it's all about the journey. It's all about the experiences I had while shiny hunting these things. That's what's important to me in a living shiny dex, and it's honestly, it's something money can't buy.
That is a fair judgment. I have no idea which shiny hunters would say, yeah, go ahead, you can buy my dex, I'll just hunt it again. Or who would legitimately think, no, this was my time, I'm keeping them. And it's good to see that you do care about the hunt, you do care about the experience, and it's not just pixels on a screen. Because, you know, different shiny hunters have different opinions, and that's all fine. But it's cool to see that no one could ever buy your shiny decks, regardless of the amount of money. I'm assuming even if they paid you $1 million per shiny, it would still be the same answer, which is awesome. So these next two questions are very similar, so they're going to be like very easy, maybe one-note answers. And the first one is, what is your favorite shiny starter?
This is a no-brainer for me. It's shiny Totodile all the way. It's got that cool, like, kind of aqua blue. It's got these blue, you know, spikes on its back. It's just the best. I hunted for one for my Ultra Sun Ultra Moon playthrough. I'm going to use it, and I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, personally, just by my perspective, I'm not a giant fan of Totodile's shiny. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. It's just, between the three, Totodile, Chikorita, and Cyndaquil, I personally prefer Chikorita. But that's just me. I respect I respect your opinion, and I like that you gave a legitimate reason as to why Totodile is your favorite shiny starter. Now, the second question that's very similar to the first is, what is your least favorite shiny starter?
Least favorite shiny starter has got to be... Oof, that's a tough one. Off the cusp, I'm going to say Chimchar. Because Chimchar, I mean, it gets kind of a darker... It goes from orange to kind of a dark magenta. It's kind of cool. I'm not the biggest fan of Chimchar to begin with. Froakie could also be up there. The Froakie's change doesn't seem very distinct to me. Other than that, I don't think there's a shiny starter that I really dislike, honestly. Oh, Oshawott. I didn't say Oshawott. Oshawott might be the one. That's also one that doesn't have much of a change at all. And so it's one of those three. It's Chimchar, or Froakie, or Oshawott.
So, it's Chimchar, Froakie, or Oshawott. Coincidentally, two of them being water types. Which, this isn't part of the questions, but I'm pretty sure water is his favorite type. Don't quote me on that. So it's a little strange that two of the water starters are the ones that you don't like the most. I'm not expecting, you know, like every shiny. Everyone's gonna have a shiny that they can't stand. But the irony of your favorite typing having two of the worst. Question 14. Do you have any advice for someone trying to do a living shiny dex?
Advice is a tough thing to give. I mean, I can only, I guess, tell you what worked for me when completing the living shiny dex. It might not work for you. But what I did, I actually had a pretty concentrated method of finding the shinies that I needed. I had a big spreadsheet, and I found, like, basically the most efficient way to hunt each shiny. Most of the time that was, you know, friend safari, but it could have been chain fishing, or horde hunting, or dex nav. And in each case, I went for the most efficient method of hunting the shiny, at least until this last generation. Like, I had finished the living shiny dex up through Gen 6, and then Gen 7 came out, and I said, well, you know what? You know, it's going to be a whole generation before I really have to do any work on this again. I might as well go for some difficult hunts there. But when I'm trying to complete this big bulk of a shiny dex, go for the most efficient method every time. You know, friend safari, horde hunting, chain fishing, definitely like the most efficient 3 methods right there.
I like that you didn't mention Masuda method of the most efficient way to get the shiny decks. Because when you have the most efficient ways, when it comes to specifically starters, you have either the option of soft resetting 9 times to get them. Not 9 as in reset 9 times to get everything, but 9 times total, like 9 hunts, to get 1 generation's starters. Whereas Masuda method, it's a lot easier and less painful. I find it funny that you didn't mention Masuda method. So this question is similar to the one I just asked, but do you have any advice for people who are trying to look for certain shinies? Not ones that are trying to go for the entire living shiny decks. They just want to hunt specific Pokemon.
If you just want to hunt certain shinies, I would say probably Masuda method for them, honestly. Because there you can control like your IVs and your nature and your ability and such. So if you're only hunting for certain shinies, it really makes sense to make sure that shiny is the best shiny it can be. Like, I don't care about that so much because I am going for that living shiny decks. And I've always been that kind of person, the collecting Pokemon kind of trainer. Not the competitive trainer, but the collecting side of it. Gotta catch them all kind of thing. So I don't really care if my shinies are competitive, but if you're only going for certain ones, I would definitely use Masuda method and try to get that competitive shiny, because I think it would be fun to use, you know, in an actual battle.
So there's some fair points. You know, since I myself am going for living shiny decks, I'm obviously not going to care about getting them all 6 IV or 12 IV or whatever that nonsense is. But for those who are specifically hunting for them, it is unique to recommend Masuda method. That's something that I would not have thought about. I understand where you're coming from. I'm not saying that it's wrong. Far from it. But I'm saying that it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. So these next questions are kind of going to be similar. Again, these are generic questions because they're going to be sent out to a lot of people. So with that said, at the time of this recording, what is your longest Masuda method hunt ever? If you don't do Masuda method, what is your longest egg hunt ever?
I think I mentioned this earlier. My fastest Masuda hunt ever was Shiny Passimian. Took only 3 eggs. That was, like, by far blew me away. The fastest hunt I've ever had with Masuda method. I mean, I also had a Shiny Budew at 6 eggs, which was pretty good, but not as good as 3 eggs. That was just insane.
I'm sure that 3 egg hunt made your day. Now, if he has the specific reaction up on YouTube, I'm gonna put it on as a box or in the description, however else it's gonna see, or how else it's gonna work, whatever. But you'll be able to see that reaction yourself, so that you know the context. So on the flip side, at the time of this recording, what's your longest Masuda method hunt ever?
My longest Masuda hunt ever was for Shiny Totodile, which is ironic because it's my favorite shiny starter. And it took me 3,300 eggs. Basically, like, 3 weeks of straight up just Masuda method hunting, hatching a ton of eggs, and I finally got it. I also did a Shiny Cranidos hunt that took like 2,500 eggs or something like that. But with the, you know, Cranidos is a fossil Pokemon, it's got insane egg cycles. It's got, what, 30 egg cycles or something like that? Which is about twice what Totodile has. That hunt took me over a month, I think.
So, obviously, my Aerodactyl hunt didn't take quite as long as yours did. I still went over 2,000 freaking eggs for Aerodactyl, but I feel your pain. 200 is still more than the 2,000. But at the same time, between the two, the gap is minimal. So I'm pretty sure we were both feeling the same pain of those long freaking cycles. So I feel your pain with the Cranidos. Hopefully I don't ever have a hunt that goes over 3,000 eggs. Even if it's a Magikarp, I don't care. I don't want anything that goes over 3,000 eggs. At the time of this recording, was your fastest soft reset ever?
My fastest soft reset hunt was, I gotta say, kind of insane. It was a shiny Lugia. It took me 15 soft resets. It was one of those shinies that I've always wanted to have, a shiny Lugia, and it was not available to me. I mean, you had to do full odds hunts for it, and I guess wasn't willing to do that. And then Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire came out, and boom, there's shiny Lugia. You can hunt it with the shiny charm, and 15 soft resets later, there it was, man. Now, it did almost struggle to death. I had to use a Master Ball on it, but it was totally worth it. So that's my fastest, like, shiny charm soft reset hunt. But with full odds, I did 250 runaways for shiny Shaymin, which I thought was kind of insane. And I almost couldn't believe it was shiny already, but I will take that.
Of course, who would really, after a full odds hunt, whether it be runaways or soft resets, who would really say, after 250, I'm gonna do another one? I don't blame you for keeping that Shaymin after 250. But 15 soft resets, I know with the Charmant's increased odds, that doesn't matter. The fact that it's still 15 soft resets is amazing. So this is something that people joke about every now and then. I'm not going to say it's a lot, and I'm not going to say it never happens, but if Game Freak was to come up with another variation of shinies, like monochrome or transparent or any other variations that have another version of the Pokemon, so it'll be normal, shiny, and something else, would you hunt those? Or would you just say, no, I'm not doing that, I'm good?
Honestly, no. I mean, shinies at the moment is probably about as much as I can handle. If there's a whole nother type of shiny, like, holy hell, I can't deal with that, man. That's too many different colored Pokemon. Shinies is good enough for now. They came out with something rarer, like albino Pokemon, monochrome Pokemon. I could not deal with that, honestly.
That's fair. I don't blame you. Personally, for me, I would do it. Because I'm insane enough, and, you know, it would give me more stuff to do. I mean, I'm the type of person who wants 3 or 4 living shiny dexes because I'm bored. I'm sure once I finish my living shiny dex, I might change my mind, but if Game Freak did do that, I personally would also actually hunt them. Question 21. What made you decide to start hunting shinies?
That was actually kind of a fun story. Back when Pokemon X came out, my buddy and I had a little bit of a competition going, who could catch the most shinies. It kind of started when I was just messing around in Pokemon X, trying to complete my Pokedex, and accidentally ran into some grass outside of the daycare. Got a shiny Volbeat, and my buddy said, wow, that's cool, you got a shiny Volbeat. Now I want a shiny. He went and got a shiny Fungus out of Hordes, and I said, well, you've got one. I need to get another one now. But before I could do that, he got a shiny Nosepass, got a Friend Safari. And I said, nah, he can't be beating me. I got another shiny out of Friend Safari. It just kind of escalated from there, and before you knew it, I had a whole bunch of shinies. He stopped hunting the shinies. I got way too far ahead, but I had caught this bug, literally. And figuratively. I got that shiny Volbeat, and then I actually got the shiny hunting bug, this urge to make me hunt shinies, and I couldn't stop. Eventually I realized I had enough shinies to try to complete a living shiny dex, and I went for it, man. And eventually it happened.
Very, very appropriate that a shiny bug sent you on a shiny quest. That couldn't be all the more perfect, honestly. Plus, when you think about it, when you're going from the entire living shiny dex, since you had Volbeat at the start, that's something that you never have to ever worry about unless, for whatever reason, they make Volbeat evolve. But I find it kind of funny that one of the most useless Pokemon sends you on one of the hardest quests in general. Not just in Pokemon, just in general, one of the hardest quests. So for this next question, I have to emphasize, besides the red Gyarados, what was your first shiny Pokemon? Because everyone gets that gold or silver or heart gold, soul silver shiny Gyarados. That one doesn't count. But which one was your first shiny?
So my first ever, like, real shiny is a shiny Staravia that I random encountered in Pokemon Diamond, I think in the Eterna Forest. And I was freaking out, man. I remember I was sitting in the dining hall in college, freshman year of college. Or was it sophomore year? It was sophomore year of college. And I found this thing, and I was freaking out. I was running out of Pokeballs. I caught it on one of the last couple of Pokeballs I had. And I named it Alpha, because it was my first ever, like, real shiny. And I think it's currently on my Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire game, which I kind of regret. If I had to do that over again, I think I would leave it on Gen 4.
That's really interesting that you would leave it on Gen 4. Because just for me, for myself speaking, and I know how to grammar good, I would always bring it up. Because on the off chance that I lose Diamond or wherever it was from, it would be up in the older games, or the newer games, rather than stuck in a game that might get lost. There's also the possibility of the data being corrupt, you know, that sort of thing. So it is really interesting that you would consider keeping it there if you were to do that again. I don't see you really going for a shiny Staravia again, but it is interesting that you would still keep it in Gen 4. We're getting near the end, guys. I know this video is long, but bear with me. What is your favorite shiny hunting method?
I would say my favorite shiny hunting method has got to be Dexnav. I just really had a fun time with Dexnav and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. It was relatively efficient, and like kind of random encountering the Pokemon, you actually got to see that shiny in battle, see that sparkle for the first time. You really got a real, I don't know, jolt out of it. It was a jolt of adrenaline just seeing that shiny in battle, and I think that was the best.
I definitely agree. As of right now, Dexnav is my favorite method as well. Okay, guys, we're down to basically the last question. What is your least favorite shiny hunting method?
My least favorite shiny hunting method has got to be, I think, soft reset. I would say random encounter, but I think soft reset's got to be the worst, just because there's that extra time spent resetting the game. The flip side of that is that oftentimes soft reset shinies are legendaries and other awesome Pokemon. So it's kind of a double-edged sword on that one.
That's kind of funny, because I do watch your streams a lot, and I know you don't like Masuna Method. So I always figure that Masuna Method would be your least favorite. But I have a strong feeling that the Moltres has something to do with why you don't like soft resets. But anyways, thank you, KangasKid18, for joining me and agreeing to interview, even with the redundant questions. This is still a work in progress. So thank you for taking the time out of your day for answering these questions.
So thank you, Adam, for inviting me to do this interview. I had a good time. Some good questions there. And I hope you all learned something. If you got any questions, I mean, go ahead, shoot them over at me at my Twitter, which is @LivingShinyDex. Follow me on YouTube, which is KangasKid18. And also I stream on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/KangasKid18. So really appreciate it, and hope you all enjoyed.
If you did, you can always give it a like. You can always share it around. I'm hoping to do this with as much shiny hunters as possible. I don't expect to interview every single shiny hunter ever. That would be thousands of videos. But I do expect to make a few of them, at least. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Jackass, out!